following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
All right, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jesup, 7 minutes after 8 o'clock. It is a Wednesday morning, right slap in the middle of the week, right slap in the middle of the month, 15th day of January. World famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Murphy Builder Supply, located on Northeast Broad Street here in downtown Jesup, right down from the Big Red Caboose, and by Nips Car Wash, located on Highway 301 South, just past McDonald's on the left-hand side. And Bob, I guess we're talking baseball this morning. Is that correct?
Definitely talking baseball. I said I had to interview Coach McDonald on sports, but decided to bring him in, talk 30 minutes of high school baseball season right around the corner, less than a month away, February 10th down in Brunswick, Georgia. Brought his assistant, Barret, with us. So just thought we'd talk Wayne County baseball. Exciting time. You know, we got 30 games on Big Dog Country, beginning home and away. Listenership's always high.
Out the roof.
Like I said, it's amazing how many people from out of town listen to Wayne County baseball and comment. Like I said, when I go to a place like Baxley and Pierce, they say, yeah, we listen to Wayne County baseball all the time. We love Wayne County baseball. So got a lot of fans all around the state of Georgia, Coach. So
yeah,
looking forward to it.
And I know, there's a lot of programs across the state, but this one's different. You know, there's the support from the community and the amount of people that actually come to games and enjoy being in that atmosphere. And, I've always challenged people, let's create the atmosphere that we have in late April and May. Let's create it in February. So let's fill it up from the start and get behind these kids. I know they feed off of it every year when they look up and that place is packed or the chairs are being put out prior to the game. That gets them excited and gets them a little bit more ready to play. So we encourage everybody out to start. I know February 4th is our scrimmage against Vidalia. That's at home, so we can start packing that thing out in February 4th.
Again, talking to you yesterday, several holes to fill from last year's team. Like I said, the middle infield is the big vacancy. Cooper's gone, Griffin's gone. Those are two key positions. You mentioned they were kind of the mainstays the last several years. They started, when they were young. So you got to fill that middle infield. And pitching seems to be going to be a strong suit again. I should mention a lot of the pitchers are back from last year. Jasper Stanfield, Ray Townsend, some others. So got to feel good about the pitching staff. But talk a little bit about the overall lineup, all these openings that you got to fill.
Well, there's quite a few kids that are going, we got probably 10 to 12 kids that at any time can be in the lineup. It's going to be difficult on our part to kind of get them all in at one time, and we're going to have to be, I guess, creative with it to give them all chances and opportunities to produce. But, at the end of the day, when we put that lineup together, we're going to take our best 9 hitters and put them on a board and then put them in a position to play. I think in the high school game, I know we're going to pitch, and the guy sitting next to me, he's going to do a great job with the pitching staff. So, we got to find a way to get those 9 guys in a lineup, and we're going to pitch and play defense. We just got to be better offensively this year.
Barrett's with us. Barrett, you've been helping out the last couple of years. You had a full-time job. Now you're a full-time teacher, so now you're on staff full-time. How much is that going to benefit our pitchers to have you there full-time?
I sure hope it helps a lot. I hope it benefits them a lot. It's certainly a plus for me to get to spend more time with my mind on baseball. Now being a teacher, I obviously have my job during the day, but being able to be right there at the stadium, that way every time I'm out there in the mornings doing morning duty like I just got finished doing, I'm staring at the baseball field. Plays are running through my mind, pitchers are running through my mind, when they can pitch, how much I can use them. It's just being in the school system now has allowed baseball to stay at the top of my mind at all times.
Well, for folks who don't know who Barret Browning is, tell us a bit about your history at Wayne County and then afterwards in pitching.
Played at Wayne County and graduated in 2002. Went on to Middle Georgia College, Chipola College, and Florida State for 4 years of school. After that, went to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim organization for 6 years and the Cardinals organization for about 2 years.
Okay, so folks are well, who's Barret Browning? Why is he coaching pitching? Well, you've got the creds. So
yeah,
you got the experience.
I can do it. Teaching is a lot different.
Got to feel fortunate to have him on the staff, don't you, Coach?
I do. I'll be honest. My 9 years as the head coach, I've never dealt with pitchers. Coach Mullis was with us for I guess 8 of those years, and he come in the last 3 or 4 and kind of taken over. So I've never dealt with him. I don't plan on dealing with pitching. I just let them guys handle it.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to lay there's a lot of folks move in and out. They don't know, can't remember who pitched for Wayne County and what they did. So he's got the creds, and so I think the pitching staff, these young kids out there, are fortunate to have some with your experience, Barret, out there teaching them, coaching them. You tell them your experiences that you've had through the years, and I'm sure it's got to be helping them tremendously.
I sure hope so. I have to just my thing I try to do is pull the reins back a little bit. I have a fear of kind of blowing their minds sometimes. I can feed them full so much information in a hurry that they can become overwhelmed, and it can be counterproductive. So the big thing for me that I try to focus on is keeping it simple for them, give them a few things to work on at the time, and let them master those things before we move forward.
Okay.
Do you find them receptive? They pretty much listen to you?
Very much so. These guys, the beauty of being a part of Wayne County baseball and Wayne County as a community is the parents are in here do a great job of raising young men that want to be better, are respectful, that carry themselves in the right way, and truly believe in what's going on here. Coach McDonald and his previous staff have done a great job of setting the bar high, and those young men want to be a part of another group that can reach that bar and exceed it. So definitely are very receptive to anything we try to lay upon them.
Well, tell us who's going to be throwing. We know you got Jasper and Ray coming back. Pretty good 1-2 punch. Who else is on that staff that you're working with?
Most of our staff's back from last year, out there trying out. Right now we have yet to see everybody throw. We've got some guys, some arms that we still want to see. We're not going to set anything in stone right now. We're not really going to put any names out there just due to the fact that we want it to be a completely open process for all the players. I feel like if you set names in stone at this point in the season, then it may deter guys from working harder. They may feel like there's no reason to if there's one slot open and 7 guys working for it. I don't think we have those type of young men in this program. But I want every guy to feel like they get a fair shot at it, because truth be told, we may have a set and starting rotation today. It could change tomorrow based on performance or based on an assortment of other things. So I really try to, as a coaching staff, we're trying to encourage every guy out there, whether they've pitched before or not. We want to see their arm. If they've got a good one, we want to see if we can make use of it.
Oh, Barret, do you ever get out there and just say, all right, if they're not getting it, do you get up on the mound and throw a heater right down the middle and say, this is how it's done?
It's happened. Now, I don't know. I went out there yesterday and tried to throw BP, and it didn't go very well. But I've never been very good at throwing BP. Tom Jern and some of those other guys can attest to that. But, there's times definitely where I want to get out there and just show them. And sometimes it is the best thing to do, to actually let them see it done. Because sometimes the way I'm explaining it, as hard as I try, I may not be able to make it easy to understand, where some guys are visual learners, and that's the most fun part to me of coaching, is learning the guys and what form of learning, learning their personalities, what gets them competing at the highest level mentally, physically. How do they learn? How do you teach them best? It's a challenge, and it's fun.
We got a text in here. Folks can always text in questions or comments during the Butch and Bob Show or at any other time. You can text us at our regular business line at 912-427-3711. 912-427-3711. I'll go back to Coach McDonald on this one. Someone texted in and said, how can I work with my 7-year-old now to help him prepare to play middle school and high school baseball?
I think, I get asked that question a lot. I think the number one thing at that age, and, I have a 3-year-old, soon to be 4, about to get involved. I think the number one thing at that age is make it fun for them. I think sometimes parents can be the worst enemy of dragging a kid to the field and forcing him to do stuff. Number one thing, I think they have to want to do it. But, the biggest thing I think you concentrate at this level is just the basic fundamentals of the game, throwing and catching, fielding, and just hitting off a tee, that type stuff. So hand-eye coordination stuff. But, again, the biggest thing, if it's not fun for them when they're going out there and doing it, then I think it's kind of counterproductive if it's not fun for them.
Yeah, I've got grandkids that are around that age, a little bit older, a little bit younger in that age, and I always say, are you having fun?
Yeah.
Whether what sports they're playing, or do I say, go out there and just have fun?
It's the same at our level. If our guys aren't having fun, I know there's times where I sit back and look in the mirror and wonder if we're making it fun or if it's kind of a different mentality of them coming to the park. We want them to have fun, because I know if you're having fun, winning's going to come, and it becomes contagious. And, I'll use yesterday at tryouts. Yesterday at tryouts probably one of the best day 2 of tryouts I've ever had in my career here. There was kids laying out for balls and balls flying out of the ballpark, and everybody was having fun while we were out there, and that makes for a day to go by a little bit quicker, and you accomplished something.
Well, it is a game. The same person just texted in after you answered the question. It says, so is travel ball too soon for a 7-year-old, or Barrett's going, yeah?
Well, I think so. The playing deal, that seems to be the that's the big debate in baseball. The travel ball's up and coming, but I think there's too much time spent on playing and not enough time on skill development. At that age, if you don't have skill development and you're not developing your skill and your craft, then you're kind of waste your time playing a game. Those guys may play on a weekend, but they don't practice before they play. So I think at that age, we use the fall. The fall is pretty much skill development, and then we play in the spring and some in the summer. So you got pretty much 6 months out of the year you play, and 6 months you work on your skill. And of course, in that 6 months of working on skill, you have time off. So I think I encourage a 7-year-old. I think they need to try to play everything: basketball, baseball, soccer, anything, football. They need to play it all and enjoy it when they can. We're all about guys playing more than one sport, and there's some that kind of focus on baseball, and some of the ones that have done that over the past have had a future in baseball, and they went on to play at the next level. But we encourage guys to play everything, and again, travel ball, there comes a time when it's important. I know once you start getting into that 9th, 10th, 11th grade year when you're trying to get out there and get seen, we're in Wayne County in southeast Georgia, so that's a long ways away from Atlanta where that stuff goes on. So there are very, very few opportunities, and I think our staff does a great job of getting kids seen and getting kids recruited. But they're the whole during that summer when you get up there in the Emerson Park, you're playing that Worldwood bat stuff. There's a pile of people there at one given time that you can be seen. In our game, it only takes one time and it clicks for you. Somebody sees you one time, and that can be the difference in scholarship or no scholarship. So I think. That 7 years old, I think sometimes it can be a grind when you're playing and not actually working on the skill.
Okay, Bob?
You mentioned, Coach, the tryouts in the interview in sports, it's a number you got to get to. So how many kids are going to be cut from the team the tryouts you do?
I guess that's still in debate. We try to keep it somewhere in between 30 and 35, somewhere in there. The biggest thing about our program is there's ninth graders, there's so much that can change from a kid from one year to the next. So you want to be careful with what you do, and we're going to spend a week trying to, or 3 to 4 or 5 days on here trying to figure out what we want and what we want to keep. And they're going to come in, and we're going to meet with each one of them individually. And if they're not fortunate to make it, and I said it for you, I'm a terrible husband, terrible dad. I'm talking about this week is no fun for me. I know I look forward to baseball starting, but I don't look forward to tryouts and having to sit there and.
So you're saying that only during tryouts?
Yeah. Yes.
You don't want to say that's a policy all across 365 days a year. Just during tryouts.
No, just during.
Okay, just want to get that straight out there, folks.
I'm sure.
Coach says.
Yeah, I'm sure my wife's listening too, so she probably agrees to it. So, but it's tough on me. I don't sleep a lot. It bothers me when and it's just part of it. If we could keep 45, we keep 45. That's just not conducive to how we want this thing to go. So again, it's always a tough week, but we'll figure it out, and we'll get the ones that don't. We'll give them a list of stuff they need to go do to improve. And we've had kids that have went and done that, and we've had kids that have come back and made the team, and we've had kids that have done that and off playing college baseball now. So again, it's up to them whether or not they want to respond to it the right way. And we made mistakes before. I've made mistakes, so sometimes we make a mistake every now and then, and I'll be the first one to say I made it. So, but again, tough week, but we'll get through it and get this thing rolling.
Out there looking at the field, I was just amazed how green the grass is, how good the field looks. You got to tip your cap to the maintenance staff and the home run club and everybody that pitches in, making that field just look immaculate.
Yeah, it does. And there's a lot of people's hands that go into it, and our kids have finally, I know over the years, one of the expectations is we're going to have the best facility that we play on, and our kids have taken ownership of it. They understand if they see a clump of grass on the field, they'll start picking it up. They understand what it's supposed to look like, and McGill and his staff over there, they do an outstanding job, and our coaching staff is constantly doing something on it. I know we got some stuff we got to get done, before we start playing on it. But again, our home run club has year in and year out put in money to improve the facility. And I wish that one thing I do regret is not taking pictures along the way, just to kind of have a timeline of what it looked like and what it looks like now. So we're always looking at ways to kind of improve the facility, and I want it to be a place where people enjoy coming. The atmosphere is one of a kind, but the playing surface is right there too. So again, the work that's put in, that don't go unnoticed. I know I think I've been here 12 years, and I think I'm the only one that's cut the grass until this year, and Coach Browning has volunteered to start kind of cutting the grass. I enjoy it. That's a little bit of time to myself, and I know he does too. So again, we got 2 cutting grass now. So again, I think it's only going to get better.
Got a fan here, Coach. It says someone just texted in, best coaching staff in the Georgia High School Association baseball, or GHSA baseball, hands down.
Well, I appreciate it. I've always said that we're a small part of this thing. Our job's a whole lot easier because we have a lot of great players. And, we can go back in my 12 years and just think about the players that have come through here in my 12 years of being here. I know the guys like him, Coach Browning, come through here, and that group that he come through here with that's one of the top teams in this program that's ever come through here. So, that's what makes our job a lot easier, is when you have great players that come through, and they're constantly coming. You can see it down to the middle school. You can watch these kids win recreation state titles. That group of the 9, 10, 11, 12 years old right now that was in the All-Stars last year, that group's can be special too. So, there's a lot of talent in that group, which makes our job a whole lot easier.
Again, the region, they got magazine preview. They got us projected to be the region champions again, but it's always a tough region. I understand Statesboro picked up a kid in the offseason. Supposed to be pretty good. They're raving about him. Tell us about what the region looks like, and who do you think the stiff competition is going to come from?
Well, I think, always Statesboro and South Effingham are right there at the top with you. Ware's and I hate this. You can't count any of them out. You play 3 times, so the object of our mentality on a 3-game series is just win game 1, and then you put the pressure automatically on them. And you think that your mindset is win 2 out of 3, but sometimes that don't always work out. If you win 2 out of 3, there's a chance if somebody sweeps somebody that you didn't, then you're sitting behind them. So you got to try to win them all. And I think Statesboro is probably the one that right now is on paper. They have some. They got a guy that's on the cover of the preview magazine. That was an all-region player last year. I think player of the year last year. So, but again, we go try to come out and worry about us and worry about us getting better and take it one game at a time.
What made Georgia High School Association finally see the light on the coin flip? Finally, like I said, for years we played for home field advantage, and then game 3 you got to flip a coin. But they finally changed that rule. What made them finally see the light? You have any idea?
Well, I know. You're probably familiar with Billy Nicholson. He's the president of our Georgia Dugout Club now, and he created this 12-member committee, and I was fortunate to be one of them on it. And we come up with some ideas that some things that coaches around the state thought should be changed. And I think one of them earlier was having tryouts a whole lot, having tryouts in August or the end of summer. And that was number one thing, based on being able to fundraise with your kids throughout the year, and you're not or asking a kid to go raise money and not knowing if he was on the team. So, but that actually got voted down by Georgia High School. And then free substitution in JV games, that was voted in. And then of course the coin toss. I don't know what my record is on coin tosses, but I do know that a couple of years we have won them. We've had some kind of lucky coin in the dugout, and they would tell me what it was on, and that's the times we won. But if I had to call it on my own, I pretty much lost every time. So I'm glad it's changed. So hopefully we can host games and not have to worry about the game 3 fiasco. Playing when you're playing at home, and then you sometimes forget that you are the visitor, and it kind of messes up the whole mindset of, for instance, something like the national anthem, not taking the field when the game starts at home. That kind of throws off the old routine of playing at home. And I'm glad that's changed. That's something that's been. I know you wrote letters, letter after letter.
I just didn't understand.
Maybe that's why they finally read one.
I think they ignored those letters, but I'm just glad it finally changed, because my argument was you play all year for home field.
Yeah.
Why? What did you play for if you're not going to get home field in game 3? It didn't make any sense. So.
And another good thing they've done, I think, in all sports, they do the universal coin toss, which when it gets to be like C's, you already know if you win and this team wins, then you're going to know you're going on the road. So, I think that's another thing too, especially in baseball, because, sometimes it gets to where there's only 3 or 4 days in between, say, round 2 and round 3. That gives you time to, if, one year in round 2, we had to go all the way to Chattanooga, basically, Ringgold, and, that gives you a little more time to kind of figure out plans of travel and that type stuff.
Where's the state championship games? What they decide on that? Did they decided the locations on those?
Yeah, they have 4 sites. They have Rome, Gwinnett, SunTrust, and Macon. There's a lot of, I guess, around the coaching world, a lot of people not happy about the Macon site the way it was last year. It wasn't in very good shape to have a state championship game. So I don't know if that's going to change right now, but I think there's some push to trying to get that moved somewhere else. But right now it's the 3. Of course, the Braves organization, they're 3 stadiums, and then I'm sure there'll be one south of Macon somewhere.
Someone just texted in that says the sunset picture was great.
Yeah.
So tell us about the sunset picture, Case. We were talking about it before we went on the show.
Yeah, I was out there putting out some more rye seed on some spots that didn't come up too well, and I looked up and there it was. I just took it with my phone, and I guess that's
where is it? Where are people seeing the picture?
I get on social media. Social media somewhere. So I guess it's no filter too, so people think it was doctored up. It wasn't. Every now and then you'll catch one out there, whether at practice or staying late at the field. You'll catch a good one over in that area back behind our hip facility. So I guess when you get the opportunity, you got to take a picture. You never know what it turns out. So
this is an interesting listener here. We got the history of things they've texted in here over the last couple of months. It said, back on December 18th, this listener let us, Bob and I, know the price of our gold per ounce at $1,400 per ounce. And that is in December. Also in December, he said Jimmy the Greek died in 1996. And now this listener said the sunset picture was great. That's interesting, the comments this listener's putting in.
Speaking of pictures, I go back every now and then and look at those pictures when we played for the state championship down in Savannah. What a great scene that was. So hopefully we can get back to, I know that's the goal. So how do you think the chances are, you're looking at this region, that Georgia Dugout magazine, they got the preseason all-state team, and I think Loganville's got 6 of the 9.
Yeah.
Where do they get all that talent in Loganville? It's always about pitching too.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but once you get in there, once those teams get in that bracket, anything can happen. And we play a tough schedule because heck, if you're gonna play them in the regular season, you can beat them in the regular season, you beat them in the playoffs. You're going to beat every great team sometimes. So I do know I am guilty at sometimes of kind of peeking at the bracket. And it's the same format as football and basketball. It's the same bracket that goes through based on the region and the seed. So right now we're going to cross over with a tough region in round 1 with Jones County, Locust Grove, Ola, and that group. So those 3 teams are always in the top 10, top 15 in the state. And then if you peak the round 2, you're going to get the 1 and 2 from the Beaufort and Loganville region. So one of them is going to be 1 or 2. So I'm talking about, again, like I said, we're not going to back down from it. We want to play them here, and we're just going to take it one game at a time. Once we get in there, whether we're a 1 or a 4 seed, you can make a run at any spot.
That run for state title, those are some great memories. The scene at Locust Grove, the Beaufort series here at home, and then the state finals in Savannah. There's some great memories. I don't know about you, but I reminisce every now and then. Those are some fun times, especially those trip to Locust Grove. That was a wild scene. The people at Locust Grove still can't believe all the Wayne County people showed up for that.
Yeah, so I catch myself listening to some of those calls that you made in that game, and that moment or that little run right there would always be special. Unfortunately we couldn't finish the deal, but that's the expectation every year. I want, as a coach, and I know our players do, and our coaching staff wants to get back in that situation. And you get hot at the right time, and you get things going in your direction. And our big motto in our program is we got a little motto, 31 or 1. There's 32 teams and going to make that bracket, and there's 31 that are going to end not winning it, and there's 1 that's going to be on the receiving end of what everybody's chasing. So we got 31 or 1. We want to be one of 31, or we want to be the 1. And right now we're working every day to be the 1. Also, we talk about DTW, deserve to win, and that's a big motto of everything you do every single day. Is it putting us in a situation where things aren't going our way in a game, or we're doing things the right way, so we deserve to win the game. And that's classroom, that's behavior at the school, the way you show up for practice, the way you're out in your community. All that stuff goes into that motto and what it means to our program. So again, that's always the expectation of getting to that situation. I wouldn't want to coach anywhere that was not the expectation of winning a state championship, and our kids are working each day to get there.
Well, it's always nice to be in the hunt. Like I said, it's nice to be knocking on the door last couple of years, so hopefully sooner or later we'll knock the door down and get that state title that everybody's looking for. But the talent's there. I said pitching. It all begins with pitching. Barret, you've seen the arms, Jasper, Ray Towns, and the list goes on and on. We got some talented pitchers. So if the defense and hitting comes through, you got a great shot to possibly win it all.
Absolutely. I told Coach McDonald and Coach Brockton, and the problem we have right now, what I don't like about high school baseball is we get 7 innings. Fortunately, in Wayne County, I've got enough arms. We would be even better in the state if we played 9, because we've got a deeper staff than I think any other team in the state has. We've got enough arms. We could throw 9 innings 5 times a week if we had to. I mean, we've got that kind of quality arms, and we've got that many of them. So I wish that was the case. It's not. So we've got a lot of guys that are going to be deserving and capable of pitching for us in the innings, but the innings may not be there. So you got starters that go 5 innings, 6 innings, that don't leave but 1 or 2 left per game. So unfortunately, there's going to be some guys we're going to try to find some ways to get them involved. But it's exciting. I think we've got a great group all around, and I think we can play all 3. If we can win 2 or 3 of them each game, I think we're going to win a lot of ball games.
As a pitching coach, how do you determine who's the starter, who's the reliever, who's a closer? Do you look for a closer right now? Do you see a potential closer out there right now?
Demeanor to me is the big thing, and stuff. That what we say when we call stuff is their pitches. How nasty they are, if you want to word it that way. Typically, a guy that's either funky or throws hard with a good breaking ball or a good changeup will be the guy we're looking to close. And the starters are typically guys that are going to have the ability to throw 3 pitches for strikes at any time, and that can locate the fastball. To me, that's the biggest thing. I'm going to have them throwing fastball. We're going to get as many outs with them as we can. I know there was a time in the last couple of years I went out there and told the guys I'm throwing them fastballs and showed them and our pitchers it's tough to hit. It's tough even when you know it's coming. And I think that was a good thing. And some of those younger guys back then are now the older guys and the leaders of this group. And if they can command 3 pitches, they'll pitch, and they'll be more likely to start. And if they've got some nasty stuff or some heat, they'll be coming in the end to shut it down for us.
That's the reason why you've got all these scouts coming in when you've got a pitcher somewhere who can throw a ball anywhere from 95 in that area. You'll see them out there with their guns and everything, and they may be a so-so pitcher, but if they got that heat, I think that the colleges think that they can, or the professional teams think they can develop their arm. But it's like in football. You either got the speed or you're chasing it. And in baseball, I guess if you've got that speed that in terms of how fast you can throw that ball, it's very difficult to hit. From what is what you're saying there. If you can, it's hard to hit that really fast fastball.
Absolutely. If they can throw it over the plate, if they can throw it in the zone, it makes it's definitely a tough thing to do. Hitting a baseball is probably the hardest thing in any sport.
You got a round ball and a round bat, and it's coming in at you anywhere from around 80 to 95 miles an hour. And sometimes it's doing the Watusi coming up there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We hope it is. That's what we're trying to teach them.
We'll close it out on this note. Leadership's always a key part. How about senior leadership? How many seniors you got on this year's team?
Well, we'll have 3, and this number's been we look back and try to figure out what went wrong with this class. There was only been 3 since they come into the 9th grade, and we have 1 move out and 1 move in. So right now we have 3 seniors. Fortunately, the junior class has played. Most of those guys played as sophomores, so they kind of step in. I've said this. I think those juniors, they'll just have 2 senior years, basically what it boils down to. But I think our senior class is strong, and all 3 of those guys, and we pride ourselves on getting these guys opportunities to play at the next level. And I think these 3, I think we'll be 100% on these guys getting to play at the next level. I'll use the holidays during Thanksgiving and Christmas. You see the guys that are playing. It's fun to go out to the field and see those guys out there that played last year and the years before out there working and getting ready for their upcoming season. But I think these 3 also get the opportunity to go play, and I think they're going to do a great job in leading us.
Somebody just tried to text in a video. Our our text is unable to process videos in very long text. So whoever sent this video in, we cannot look at it. Okay, Bob?
Again, appreciate y'all coming in. Look forward to the season. Again, as you mentioned, scrimmage February 4th, first game February 10th, and then it all kicks in. 30 games on the schedule, home and away. We'll have them all here right on Big Dog Country FM 105.5. I always look forward to it. Should be fun. Looking forward to another good year of Wayne County High School baseball.
Yeah, I was going to mention real quick, our coaching staff, I guess I'm at the top of this thing, but, there's times where those guys are doing more, Coach Browning and Coach Brockett, and then we have community coaches, Coach Starling and Coach Roberts. We've been fortunate here in my 9 years to have stability in the staff and have guys that are here, and I want guys to work under us and move up to whether it's head jobs or other jobs that are moving up, or I want that, but having stability in the staff, I think that's been a big part of our success, and having a continuity of what we expect of each other. I know just being with Coach Browning over the last 3 or 4 years, I think we're a lot alike, the way we think and the way we want to handle situations. And, Coach Brockton played for us, and then you got Coach Starling, Coach Roberts, who's been in this community for years, and they know what the expectation is. So, I think that's a big part of our success, along with having great players, and, it goes all the way down. Wayne County baseball is not just what happened at the high school, what happens at the middle school and the recreation department. And, those we did a little thing in the fall with some skill development with some of those travel ball teams and trying to teach them the Wayne County way. And, that was from 8 years old up to 12, 13, and I think that was a big success for us, kind of implementing what we do at that level and let those coaches understand, and they're taking it and going week by week and improving each week, and we're going to continue to do that over the next few years or as long as I'm here. So I think that's important to develop that skill from a young age and have them ready to go when they get to us.
Well, Ken, appreciate y'all coming in. We'll look forward to the season. Again, tryouts in this week. Is that right? You'll have the team
correct,
set by Friday afternoon. Everybody know who's wing. So, and again, as you mentioned, Cole Brockton does a good job with the JV program. So it'll be a fun time out there at the ballpark again.
I tried to get him to come with us, but he's a science guru at the high school. He's one of the best
Science guru.
He does a great job in the classroom too. I'm fortunate to be a PE teacher, and Coach Browning PE teacher. We don't spend a lot of time in the classroom, but he does a great job. He is in there pounding it right now, so he enjoys it and he does a great job. But like I say, he does an outstanding job with our JV.
All right, okay, guys. All right. Appreciate y'all coming in.
Appreciate it,
thank
coaches. All right, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, world famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Nips Car Wash, located on Highway 301 South here in Jesup, just past McDonald's on the left-hand side, and by Murphy Butter Supply on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jesup, right down from the big red caboose.
The world famous Butch and Bob Show.